Hey Patron, this is Prometheus, guys. I want to go ahead and give you a heads up on a defense I'm switching over to. This is a defensive shell. It's the 335 Cub or the 335 nickel or what it is called now is the 335 penny defense. This is a defense I'm going to switch over, and the reason why is that it has all of the matching principles that I like to use on defense last year, and it has the ability to go and hit your opponent with a good blitz, and it also has a really good front, which will be stout against the run. Now you can find this in the Cards playbook, the Arizona Cardinals playbook. You can also find this in the Philadelphia Eagles playbook. You could find this in the Falcons playbook. And also the Rams playbook, and then the Titans playbook, and the Panthers playbook. So we're just going to go ahead and jump into the Philadelphia Eagles playbook and kind of go from there. And to set this particular defense up, we want to make a couple different assignments that you want to go against. So here's the defense right here. It is the penny defense, and basically we have our rushers on the outside here. We've got one defensive tackle. We've got basically a defender, which essentially is going to be your outside linebacker, and then we have your inside slot defender is your strong safety. Now, what I want to do with this is I want to go and swap that strong safety out with my slot corner. Primary reason I want to do that is that I like the setup that way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make adjustments with this roster. So first and foremost, if I've got that guy in the slot position, I want to go ahead and swap out this guy right here to just any kind of defender, and then I want to go ahead and swap out this edge defender, which essentially is going to be Hunter. And I want to go ahead and put in a better defender at the position of 48s. And you can see I'm going to go and set that up. So I want to have my edge defenders that are actually fast on the left side of the formation. My player that I want to have over here is going to be my best defender is going to be my best linebacker position. So right outside linebacker, Chris Harris, very good speed, 91 speed, 90 speed, pretty good defender. And then my user, I want to go and have somebody that's got a lot of speed. I've got this rookie defensive linebacker, Hill, that's got 91 speed. So I've got this set up. Now let's go ahead and jump into our audible assignments. With our audible assignments, we have Tampa 2. We've got the pinch blitzo, cover 4 quarters, and the cover 3 sky. This is my preference. You can rearrange as anything. The only defense I'm going to leave stock is going to be the pinch blitz O. My preference is to actually go ahead and use my top audible as a cover 9 audible. And then for my audible here where it's cover 4 quarters, I'm going to swap that out. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually go ahead and use the cover 3 match coverage, because that allows us to blitz our opponent and then have matching principles with the outside defenders. And this cover 3 sky audible, we're going to switch it out for palms, and that's what we're going to use. Now, out of the huddle, we're going to go ahead and use cover 6, but we're also going to go ahead and make an adjustment with our coaching adjustments. First and foremost, we're going to do the base setting. Option descents, conservative, strip ball, conservative, tackling, conservative. Those are my preferences. You can change it any other way that you want. Now, cover 6 coverage is going to be the one we're going to come out of, but what I want to do is I want to go ahead and set our coverage audible to cover 6 is our set audible. I want to go ahead and show my opponent this type of a look as much as possible, or I might actually show my opponent cover 2. Cover 2 is probably the best way to go, so we're going to call cover 6 out of this. And I'm just going to run random pass coverages, random shotgun plays, and kind of go from there. So what's cool about this particular play is I want you to look at this defender right here. This guy is in a vertical hook, opposed to the over defenses, the nickel defenses and stuff like that. The guy was in a hook zone, not a vert hook, and that really just kind of changes up the dimensions. Another thing I want to point out to you is that you have the ability to do a blitz all, to send your blitzes really quick, or you can do zone all and actually put defenders in hook zones really quick. Another option too is if you do individual assignments on those edge defenders, you actually can put seam flats out there or vert hooks. So now I've got basically vert hooks out here, which is something that's going to be very interesting against your opponent. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up with this defense, and now I have basically vert hooks to essentially go ahead and just tie everything up with this defense. Now, when I approach my opponent, when I'm seeing what type of things they're going to do, I always go ahead and shift the line based on where the running back is. So if he's running basically shotgun sets, I'm going to shift my line over right here so his offensive line cannot get leverage against me. So that's how I run my line, is to try to prevent any kind of stuff like that. What's cool about this particular defense too is that it allows me a lot of adjustments that I can make really easy, that I'm used to doing already. So first and foremost, the linebacker adjustments. Anytime I see trip set, I like to go ahead and take my linebacker adjustments to put this guy out, and then also I'm going to go ahead and do a deep third out here. And whenever I see, this type of situation where I've got basically a run angle that can go off to the right side, I can shift my line to the opposite side with this. So this is better for run fits, and gives me an opportunity to go ahead and kind of set things up. So let me just kind of show you my responsibilities and what I'm looking for, why I got that interception with that particular play. So I drop this guy into a hard flat. Now he actually floats up. He really doesn't get flat like I really want to, but you've got man matching principles. I've got this guy into a deep third. He actually goes ahead and plays up. I've got this guy in a matching principle. He's going to play that route and actually carry with it. This deep third should have went a little bit higher. I don't know why he's matching off of here, unless I did not set that up correctly. But you can see how I actually go into this lane. My responsibility is to protect the seam and carry anybody that goes over the middle of the field. But look at this guy drops into the zone fit right here. If there's a flat underneath here, this guy would come down and bite to it. So that's what I love about this defense, is pretty much got this all set up. Now, if I've got wide receivers, I've got trip set on one side, I can easily jump into cover 9 and actually have an easy defensive setup where I've got basically a box off to the right, and that basically will give me a situation. So even though he completed that ball, there were defenders in that area. So they might tighten up the game a little bit to actually clean this up. But what I like about this defense is I can set this up really, really quick and have myself a box set against my opponent. And if he wants to go down that route, I'm actually going to have basically edge defender. Now, if I want to go ahead and provide an extra support out there, what I could do is actually put a flat defender out there on the right side like that. And one other thing I like to do is I like to go ahead and do an outside third with my outside defender. That means he should not get pulled down with any kind of man matching principles like that. And you can see that basically that play was all pretty locked up. So this gives me the ability to go ahead and have basically cover 2 coverages, cover 6 coverages. That's what's cool about this. Also, if I wanted to, I can switch into a cover 2, basically soft squat type situation like this, where I've got basically a cover 2 shell that is a little bit more effective against my opponent, and I'm going to have more people that are going to be in the middle of the field. So that's a good play. That's a good route. That's basically the route that's going to beat this type of coverage. So I don't really have much of a problem with that. Now, pinch bucko, once again, it's just a man coverage type shell. I have been noticing that if you shift these guys over and you hover over the center, sometimes you get some good edge pressure off the edge. So it's nice to have that in your back pocket to do that. Another cool thing about this good defense too is that with the pinch bucko, it's so easy to set up coverages like this, where it's you got a bunch of guys that are going to be out in the area where you can bait your opponent with showing them a blitz and actually having a guy jump in that back area. Match coverage is another good coverage that you can jump into. I would say probably if I run match, I'm going to go ahead and do something like so, where I'm going to go ahead and drop 2 guys in hook zones, user over the middle of the field, and these hook zones are kind of messing up your opponent's reads. except for that route that actually obviously got taken out. So that's just, you know, one of those concerns that you can actually have with that. Usually it's just a good, you know, it's a good defense to go and jump into because you've got matching seam principles. Probably what I would do is I might rotate this guy down and then play this guy over the middle of the field and just kind of play the box. You can see how the matching principles, and then that route right there actually kind of blows up matching principles when you get past it. So that's just a route combination that works very well. If I do see someone that actually goes ahead and jumps into palms, I'm going to go ahead and go into this type of a cover or plays any kind of like a empty set. I like palms. One thing I do like to do with palms is I like to do my guys in deep thirds. And then I might spy out my dude, but my responsibility is to play the 3 rec wide receiver, the 3 wide receiver. That's going to be my responsibility. And then obviously we can get interceptions like that by pressing. If you feel like a guy takes shots against you, you might want to stay off coverage, but it's a pretty good play to go and jump into. Now I've got 3 wide receivers off to the left, so we can just quickly switch this into cover 9. Slide these guys over to defend against the box, and my responsibility is to look for anything that's over the middle of the field. And that was my responsibility. I should have been looking for that route, but you can see how this is just a good defense to jump into. So what I like about this is that you've got the ability to shift this line. It's a more stout front that's going to basically take out the lines. I also have all the same type of coverage responsibilities. Now I'm going to go into gameplay and see how this works out, but I wanted to get this to you guys first to say, hey, this is the defense I'm jumping into. I want to start labbing and see how people respond to it. I have to work on some pressure packages out of it too. It's going to take me some time to do that, but this is a very unique defense, the 3-3-5 penny. I like to put the slot corner in opposed to having the safety. So once again, thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.